Welcome to the stream. This is number 5 for remixing a running website. It's a play on words because I'm looking to rebuild this website, which is a running website who I run for, the club I run for. So in the last episode I added a couple of internal pages for club history. It's pretty dry, but if you're not into it, and also a bit more, a second person did some more looking at the club history. I also tidied up the footer, although I realised in terms of tidying up the footer, I've broken this, so it's really the about and claim wants to be a bit further down because it looks wrong like that. Not sure how long I've got for today because I was supposed to start a lot earlier, but I've been trying to sort of just make it a little bit fancier. So I'll lose the mic for a second while I just go to. So I've been adding some overlays, for example. Using Canva. So eventually I'd like to have proper consistent branding throughout the website, Twitter, etc. But for now I just want to get up and running. So switching back to code, probably going to want to start work on the events section. So we've got a calendar, which I'm going to completely get rid of because it's just pointless, and our events, which is currently actually broken, so that's not great. So in preparation from that, I was looking at some different websites and how they do it. One such example is this Race Pass one, which is a bit nicer when these cards go. I'm not really bothered about the map, so if I just put that to the right, I do like this, but as a grid on bigger devices. So let's have a look what's on. See, an iPad, I think it'd be better if that was 2 columns as opposed to full width. It just looks a bit too stretched. And then on bigger monitors, they actually have a map, which we wouldn't do. There's no point. A local company is Tape to Tape, so they've got more of this grid setup going on. So really, we have to think about what kind of information do we want to display. So it'd be the name of the race, when it is, possibly a time, and then race details or how to enter. Another company is Race Best. They do a lot of races, hence this is a long list. I was actually thinking, because I was looking at these as well, this is another couple of these are just taken from Pinterest, I think. I've put 2 of the same ones in there. I didn't mean to do that. 1 second. Because unfortunately I would open Pinterest up, but it won't open in. Having problems with it in Firefox earlier. So the question is, did I download the image that I want? That's the one. Sorry, I put the same one in twice, I didn't mean to. So let's remove that one and put the right one in. Unfortunately, it is a bit tiny, so it's quite nice. I could have sworn I saw a different one that I really liked as well, but trying to find out on Pinterest is horrible. and I forgot to save it. Looking at this layout, we wouldn't need all this like dates, etc. There's not going to be that many races, so it's just a case of making it a lot cleaner, making it easier to find the information. The actual race details page will probably be far more involved because there'll be things like previous results, if we're allowing entry on there, all the race details about where it is, etc. Anyway, without further ado, I've got the app up and running. So it's npm run. Let's redo that. Npm run dev. So we're all good. The naming is interesting. It's events, races, fixtures. I'm not sure quite the best name. They use races, race pass. It's got many on there. I looked at some of the local running clubs and there's a mixture. So we've got City of Hull. They use events and results, which isn't bad. And there's also Kingston. I did not want to go to that, so that's not working. But to us at the moment, I don't have to worry too much about the name. So the first thing I need to do is add a routes, and in Remix it's in the routes directory. So I'll call it our races for now, and export. It's a default function, I think. What we do need to do though is hook that up. So what did I call it? Was it just in the header? We'll find out. So our races, I actually called it races. So tell you what, let's rename this to races. Likewise, change that, and we should have a page for races. Oh, that's not going to work. Need to actually change it to a link. I think there's two of them in here, so yep, there we go. I just did Command D to quickly select the other one. Nice. So probably better off copying most of this. So that will bring in the footer, the header, the subpage, hero, which is this bit here. And I've put a height on that just to give it a bit of height, but we won't need that in this page. So let's get rid of that. And actually in the last video for the subpage, I've added a prop for the heading. Did I call it heading? Yes, should be string really, but right, now grid. Now I am a member of Tailwind UI, so initially I think I'm going to replicate this kind of card with the image at the top. So before I nick too much from Tailwind, let's start a grid. Do a div, class of grid, and then grid calls 1. Let's see how well this works. Medium of grid calls 2. So if I hadn't already said, I'm using Tailwind, so these are all the Tailwind classes for doing grid. So I'm telling it it's a grid layout, and then on small screens it's 1, on medium screens it's 2, and then we'll just do larger 3 for now. So that's LG colon grid calls 3, and then inside there we'll do a div times 6 just to right, let's get rid of the sidebar. What I probably should do as well is do a gap of 8, which is what we've been using for other grids to try and keep it consistent. And I'm just going to quickly highlight all these and do class name and just give them a background or a border so we can see. We'll do background slate 200. And nothing's there. That's interesting. Oh, because none of these have got a height, have they? So let's give her a fake height for now. 48. No, I don't want Siri. Go away, thank you. Right, we're going to obviously need some margin. Interesting, I don't know with the races to keep them like to go the full width, but that wouldn't work on really, really big monitors. For like the text heavy pages, it's limited and it's sort of quite central to make sure that the lines don't get too long. But when doing events, that's not as critical because it'll be cards. So for now, I won't worry about like any kind of container div. But what we'll do is do a padding. It's probably a bit big. Let's have a look. No, that's actually pretty good. So the race titles we can be heading to. Envisaging this will need to be wrapped in a div because we'll have the image above. And our next big race is the Boxing Day 10K. So for the dates, I will probably have like a little icon. So let's have paragraph though. Well, And surprisingly, that's on the 26th of December. Just want to check what day that is actually on. It's a Monday this year. Right, so let's go to Tailwind. I just want to see. They have a blog section, which that's quite a nice treatment. So what I'm thinking here, sorry, get the right screen. Let's get rid of those two. Save that. And this one can be text muted. And then each card will add the rounded margin that I've been doing, if I can actually get the right place. So Command Shift L to get all of them. Right. That's a bit big, probably half that would be fine. So just 5 padding to bring it in from the edge. I did say time, didn't I? Do we want distance and anything like that? Let's have a look at these images. So Oh, no, I can't do that, I forgot. Because it's a remix app, I have to tell it. See if this actually works. I just want to test it. Seems unlikely. I'd probably have to download the image in all fairness. Actually, it's like that. There we go. Right, so I'm just gonna add that to the right place. Right, so off screen, I've just added it to the assets folder, which is inside app. There we go. So I'm just going to grab the name of that. And it wants to be tilde assets. No, don't get rid of that. Assets. Images. Nope, I've still done something wrong. Oh, it needs to be self-closing. Right, let's get rid of the max height now on this one. Not max height. Right, I don't actually want this background slate colour on it, so try adding a shadow. A little bit less. It's not great that their heads are chopped off, but there's a position. Probably top. That's a bit better. Right, let's keep that one there for now. Yeah, that editing. I need to do some of that. That's what's looking wrong. I need to do some editing styles. Right, now if I go to the club history page, we do have this kind of styling. So I'll show you. It's this one, and then there's the red one. So I'll probably take this one and just make it smaller. I mean, at some point I probably should comparisize a lot of this so that I can just reuse an editing. I'm going to say 1x, no, just XL, it's not 1XL. Let's go back. There we go. Why hasn't that done anything? Not broken. Let's try text red. Is it actually working? Yes. Okay. Don't want it to be centered. So I don't want that 4XL. That muted isn't as grey as I thought it would be. Right, I'm just going to go to the I've got Tailwind cheat sheets. I'm going to check if muted is one of the ones that comes in by default. Fair enough then. So instead, let's change it to slate. There is somewhere we do use a slightly muted text, so I think it's... Oh no, okay then, so I won't go to slate, I'll use the grey, which is the same as the initial big head paragraph on the subpages. Yeah. Oh, so they've got the cost on there. I didn't think of that, did I? So it might be something else to add because it's looking a little bit boring at the moment. Right, let's import the button in. I like to do these alphabetically, although I don't think I have there. So let's do import button from the components. And then I'm just going to select all and sort lines. There we go. Refresh that. That's a little bit better, just adding a button. It's amazing. Right, we don't need the margin top on there. Actually, we could do a MB. No, right on this one. Oh, it's going to need to be much bigger than that. Oh, I could do... No, because I do space. I want these to be together, really. But let's see if this works. Wrap those in like a div. Actually, I think I can call them an heading, because what I probably should do is... Should each one of these be an article? We're trying to be semantically correct. Oh no, not heading, header. And then do space, it'll be Y. Start with 5. So let's put the right, let's try something here. I still think it's looking a little bit tedious, so it's either like a calendar with the date or the time. I'm just looking at this design. Let's bring it back across. If I can get my mouse in the right place. Right, here we go. And they've got a lot more information to display, but I like this little time one here, which could either be a time or a calendar. So, just whether we've got enough space to be doing that kind of thing. So, I think it's 10 o'clock, not that it really matters at the moment. So we'll have an icon, and then we'll have the time. Should it be a span or should it be a P? It's not really a paragraph, is it? So it's a span. And we'll put 10. And then I want arrow icons. Hopefully they've got a clock. This version 2? Oh, I think there's a new one now. There we go. So that was the original. This is the new ones. So we might as well use the new ones. And there's a clock. Good. Solid. Ooh. Mini. I like the solid. So documentation. We're back on GitHub. Oh, there we go. So, right, I'm going to switch to another terminal window. I like to put third-party imports at the top and then the internal ones here. We don't want the beaker icon. So if I go back to the page and search clock, let's assume there is going to be a clock icon. Like that. Doesn't tell me it's not there. So then we do clock icon, and I'm guessing no. So I need to give it a width and height. And a colour. Let's try that then. So class name, height of 6, width of 6, and I'm going to do text white because I think it's going to be a red background. Okay. Oh. Nice. But the background should be on this one. Right, I'm going to make this a flex. And it wants to be, I always think it should be, if you want to be in columns, I feel like it should be flex col, but it's flex row? Yep, the opposite of what I feel like it should be. And then wrap this lot in another div because I want those all to be on the right hand side. But items top. I don't want it to be stretched. Start. That's better. Is that the space Y that's causing that to? Because now that I've put them as flex. Yes, okay, right, let's get rid of that space Y. We'll put it up in individual elements. I would do gap for the flex, but I know it's a grid property, but you can use it in flex. It just depends on how well it's supported. And actually, pretty good now. So, gap 8 might be a bit big for this one. Yeah, we need to half that. So, we've been using 8. If I reduce it to 4, that'll still be nice. That text needs to be white, so to be honest, we can move that up so all the child elements are text white. Gives this a rounded, probably smaller than the and then make this flex and justify center and item center so that they're all P4 should be nice, or not. P2. And this time it does want to be flex col. The only thing we're making it red is it's gonna. Do we need the view details button? Would people know to click on it instinctively? That rounder does need to be much bigger, doesn't it? So let's try a medium. That's better. I think we need to make this much smaller. Maybe a px of 3, which is the horizontal axis, and a py of 5. So keep the p5 for the top and bottom, but decrease that. Right, now we can get a little calendar icon now that we've got the one for the clock. I've already done the import in. So right, so let's see what I've got. Have I got calendar days? Will it fit? Calendar days icon. Nice. That's all we want. And I'm just going to duplicate this and bring it down to, oh, it needs to be in between Monday. There we go. And this time it needs to be, oh, text grays on the outside, so that's fine, it should work. And good old flex again. I think I prefer that way around. Now, does that padding look slightly bigger on this side to that side? So is there a padding on? Is that because of the gap? No, that's fine. Keep the gap. Am I imagining it? That's 24 pixels. That definitely looks closer. Yeah, 12. So where is that extra? That's for the icon. There's no padding on this. There's none on the div. Let's just get rid of the button if we're not going to use it. For now, anyway. Right. So it's not coming from that element. It'll be the item start, maybe. Let's get rid of it. It's just as big there, but of course the text doesn't go all the way, so I would expect it to be. Oh, I probably need to, right. It's okay reversing them. I put item start. Might need to do justify between to push them to the sort of furthest points. Yeah, so justify between is like a way of, if you've got two elements, you can force them to be at the furthest point on either end. Right, the icon needs a little bit of padding. Probably just PR1. And if I put it on the right place, it would help. Let's try 2. Oh no, what it's doing is making the icon smaller. So let's wrap this in a span. Right, my family is back, so right, my family's back, so I'm going to stop there for now.